Hello guys, how are you? This is Master, the guy who's going to be teaching you guys the QMI and PNU. Today, I just want to make a simple video about linear or straight line. Let me just use the word straight line. So in linear and a straight line, the first thing, we have an equation whereby I'm going to define it is y equals to mx plus c. So in this y equals to mx plus c, we have equation called m, the variable called m. M is called gradient, is our gradient, or you can call it a slope, slope. Our c, we call it constant. So now when you have y, this equation, if you have equation like this, for example, y equals to 2x plus 1. So it means that our gradient is positive, and when it's positive, which means it's going to be going up like that. So if it's negative, it's going to be going down like that. So how do you arrive to this equation? That's the question. So because you guys, you are doing QMI and BNU, we are going to start afresh now. So now you will be given a point, 2 points. They will say there is a point, for example, there is a point, like for example, they give you 2 into 1, and maybe I will use 0 into 1. So these points here, when you see, we call this exactly what I've written there, we call it it's like coordinate, yeah, if I'm right with the spelling, it's called coordinates. So this coordinates here is x and y. This, like here, also is x and y. So our gradient, the one I said, our m equals to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So which means if I'm using these two coordinates, I can decide to make this one to be x1 and y1, the first coordinate, the second coordinate is x2 and y2. So which means to get my gradient, I'm going to say m equals to, I will take the y2, which is 1, this side, minus y1, which is also 1. So you can see that is going to be 0. So let's just make it maybe a 3. We're going to take 3 there, minus 1, divide by my x2 is 0, minus my y1 is what is 2, which is going to give me 2 minus 1 is going to give me 2, divided by 0 minus 2 is going to be minus 2, which is going to be minus 1. So my gradient is 1. Remember the equation of a straight line or linear equals to mx plus c. So which means now if I substitute back m with minus 1, it's going to be equals to minus x. You can just write minus 1 is still the same, but you can just say minus x plus c. Now after when you have arrived to this stage, you can do what? You can choose any coordinates here. You use them to get the value of c, the constant. If you decide to use 2 and 3, you can use them, or use 0 and 3. You will get the same answer for c. So I'm going to use 0 and 3. So which means my y is going to be 3 equals to minus in brackets, my x is 0 plus c. So which means c, you can see that equals to what? 3. Then when you write this equation now, you're going to say y equals to minus x plus c. So that's how we have arrived to what? To the equation minus 3 plus 3. So y equals minus x plus 3. So this is the equation of what? This is a straight line equation. So now I have shown you how to write a straight line equation. So we obtain y equals to minus x plus 3, which is our equation. So if I have to plot this straight line, there are 2 things that you have to know. We have x-intercept. X-intercept, it says when x-intercept, your y must be equals to 0, and your y-intercept, your x must be equals to 0. So let's first by finding your x-intercept when y equals to 0. It means that you're going to say minus x plus 3 is going to be equals to what? We put y 0. This implies that my minus x is going to be equals to, when we take this 3 to the other side, it changes the sign. It's going to be minus 3. And because it's minus, we can multiply by negative 1 both sides. Then we are going to get x equals to what? 3. So this means that when y is 0, our x equals to 3, which means when you put it in terms of coordinate, you can write 3 into what? Into 0, like that. We go to y-intercept when x equals to 0. Our y-intercept when x equals to 0, you put, when there is x, you put 0 plus what? Plus 3 equals to your y. This implies that your y is going to be equals to 3. So when our x is 0, what do we get? We get y equals to 3. So this is our x-intercept. These two, they are our x and y-intercept coordinates. So now when we have our y-intercept coordinates, I'm going to write them. We got that our x, when x is 0, when y is 0, we get 0 like 3. And when x is 0, we get like that 3. Those are our y-intercept. And the equation, we have y equals to mx plus 3. So we can plot this equation. So if we plot this equation, we can use what? If I have 1, 2, 3, 1, let me say 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, negative, negative, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, negative, 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 0. My x, this is the horizontal line is my x and the vertical line is my y. So 0 is going to be 0 into 3 is this point here. 0 into 3 for this coordinates is x is 0 and x is 0. Okay, for y, when y is 0 is here, we go 1, 2, 3. It's this point. This is the point. So for 0, when x is 0, our y is 3 is here. So when we connect the dot, you can see the line goes like this way. And if you check, remember, if I use these two coordinates also to get m, I must also get negative this answer. If I say m, I use this one as my x1 and my y1, my x2 and my y2. We must get negative 1. You will see that my y2 is 3 minus what? 0 is 3 minus 0, and then 0 minus 3, which still, when we say equals to, is going to be 3 minus, yes, 0 minus 3 is the same as minus 3. Minus 3 divided by minus 3 is to give us a 1 minus 1, which is exactly that one there. So you connect the dot like that. That's how you have written what? That's how you have drawn the straight line diagram. So now I have shown you how to draw a straight line diagram. So in your module, sometimes they can give you in terms of a table x and y. They put, let's say for example, they tell you that x is 1 and y is 2. They tell you that x is 0 and y is 3, like that. I'm just giving you maybe for that code. Maybe they tell you maybe another coordinate. Maybe let me put 3, let me put 4. When x is 4, your y is going to be, let's say when x is 4, your y, I'm using that equation, for example, the one we use, minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1. So if you get something in terms of this table, you can use any two coordinates here. You can link them. You will still get the equation of y equals to negative x plus c. So if you get a table plus 3, if you get a table like this, what you do, you can use any two of the coordinates. You can change them if you don't want to get confused. For example, the x and y, you can just write them into like this. Then it may be using your pencil, 0 into 3, 0 into 3, 0 into 3 is this one, and then you can write another one, 4 into negative 1. Let's use this one and this one to see if we can get negative 1. So if we use that, you remember you can make this your x1, your y1, your x2, your y2. Let's say for example, you have my y2, my m is equals to y2 minus y1. It's going to be minus 1 minus what? Minus 3 divided by 4 minus what? 0. 4 minus 0, which equals to minus 4. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4 over what? 4 minus 0 is 4, which is minus 4 divided by 4 is going to give us 1, which is exactly the same as there. So if you get a table, you can still do the same thing that I have been doing. You will get the equation. So I'm going to upload more videos about this chapter. So good luck. Please share in my YouTube, share in my, and subscribe. That's the most important thing. Subscribe and like. Don't know what I've pressed there. Okay, and like.